You break out of the egg somewhere in the Amazon rainforest. Your sibling hatched yesterday and already fills half the nest with its body. You're wet and can't see anything around you, so you stay still while your down dries. The nest is massive, built from branches thicker than your legs, and sits near the top of a tall tree with the forest stretching out below. Your parents arrive together carrying something heavy between their talons. It's a chunk of sloth meat, torn and still bleeding. Your sibling screams and lunges forward, so your mother drops the food directly into its open mouth. You try to call out, but your voice is too weak and gets buried under your sibling's noise, so you get nothing. A few days pass and your eyes open. Now you can see your sibling clearly. It's twice your size, covered in thicker down, and moves around the nest like it owns every branch. Your father returns with a small monkey, lands on the edge, and tears pieces off with his beak. Your sibling rushes forward and swallows the first 3 chunks without stopping. You push closer this time and manage to grab a scrap of meat before your sibling shoves you back toward the edge. It's not much, but your stomach stops burning. That afternoon, rain hammers the nest and water pools in the center. Your sibling moves to the highest point where the branches cross, so you're left sitting in the shallow puddle with your feathers soaked. You try to climb toward the dry spot, but your sibling kicks out with one leg and knocks you back down. So you stay low and wait until the rain stops and the water drains through the gaps. Your sibling is still twice your size, but in a few weeks, something will change that neither of you can control. You're 6 weeks old now. Your sibling has been getting every meal first for as long as you can remember. But today, something changes. Your mother lands on the nest with an iguana hanging from her talons, drops it in the center, and your sibling lunges forward like always, but this time, you move faster, grab the iguana's head with your beak, and pull it toward you before your sibling can react. Your sibling screams and slams into your side, trying to rip the food away, so you dig your talons into the branches and hold on. Your mother watches from the edge of the nest but doesn't move to stop either of you. The fight lasts only a few seconds before your sibling backs off, so you tear into the iguana and swallow the first piece. That's the first time you've eaten before your sibling, and your stomach finally stops feeling empty all the time. Over the next few days, you keep growing, and your body starts catching up to your sibling's size. Your father brings a sloth one afternoon, and this time, both of you feed without fighting because there's enough for everyone. You practice flapping your wings between meals, pushing down hard against the nest, and lifting your body a few inches off the branches before dropping back down. Your muscles burn after each attempt, but they're getting stronger. Then your sibling tries something new. It jumps toward a branch just outside the nest, opens its wings, and glides forward. But the landing goes wrong, and your sibling crashes into the leaves, scrambles with its talons, and barely manages to grab hold before falling. After a moment, your sibling climbs back into the nest and doesn't try again that day. Your wings are almost ready, but leaving the nest means leaving the only safe place you've ever known. Skip forward a bit, and you're 4 months old now. Your wings are strong enough to try leaving the nest, so you jump toward the nearest branch and open them wide. You glide forward for a few seconds before your body drops too fast, making you crash into a tangle of leaves and vines. Your talons scramble for grip and finally catch hold of a thin branch that bends under your weight but doesn't break. Your sibling took its first flight 2 days ago and managed to land cleanly on the same tree. So now it's somewhere above you watching. You need to get back to the nest because you're too exposed down here. So you start climbing up through the branches one at a time. Your talons dig into the bark and your wings flap to help push you higher. But it takes nearly an hour before you finally pull yourself over the edge of the nest. Over the next week, your flying gets better. You jump from the nest and glide to nearby trees, and each time your landings get smoother. Then your father calls from below, so you follow him down through the layers of branches until you re-flying just above the forest floor. He lands on a low branch and watches a group of howler monkeys moving through the trees ahead. You land beside him and watch too, but he doesn't move toward them and eventually flies back up without hunting. A few days later, you make it back to the nest after a long flight and your legs shake from the effort. But now you can cover distance and soon you'll need to start catching your own food. You can fly now, but you still can't hunt. And your parents won't feed you forever. You're 8 months old now. Your mother brings something different to the nest today. A bird that's still moving but can't fly because one wing is torn. She drops it in front of you and backs away without feeding you herself. The bird flutters and tries to stand, so your sibling drops down and kills it with one strike to the neck. Your sibling tears into the body and eats while you watch from the side. The next day, your mother returns with a young coati that's still alive and trying to bite. She drops it between you and your sibling, then moves to the edge of the nest. The coati scrambles toward the branches, trying to escape, so you jump forward and bring your talons down hard. But you miss its body and only catch its tail, making it twist around and snap at your leg. You pull back and try again, this time pinning it against the nest floor with both feet. You squeeze until it stops moving, then tear into its side. That's your first real kill. 2 days pass and your parents stop bringing food entirely. Your stomach is empty and you need to hunt. So you leave the nest and fly through the trees looking for anything you can catch. You spot a macaw sitting alone on a branch below you. So you fold your wings and drop straight down with your talons reaching forward. But the macaw sees your shadow and takes off before you get close. You chase it through the branches with your wings pumping hard, but the macaw turns sharper than you can and disappears into the thick leaves. You give up after a few seconds and return to the nest with nothing. Your sibling comes back later that day carrying a small sloth. It lands on the nest and eats without sharing. Your sibling is hunting successfully now. You're still learning, and soon there won't be room for both of you here.